said they're on their way back home to her place. The taxi drops her off first. And this time he uses his Papago, that's like Google Translate for Koreans, and he typing in something, and you know, she's just waiting like, what's he trying to say? I shit you not. He said, I want to come up to your house and sex. Sex is a verb now. What's up, idols? It's Cece, lesson 3. Welcome back to my channel. So my ring light broke, as I mentioned a few weeks ago, and it's a rare, beautifully sunny day over here in the UK, so I figured I'll film outside again. The last time I filmed outside was a bit more somber and depressing. Things are sad, but you still gotta keep pushing through. So I thought I should film outside again, especially because I don't want filming outside to just be associated with something sad and negative. Guys, look at this. This is just how you recharge, you know what I'm saying? Nobody around, the birds chirping. I wanted to tell you guys about another story time. This one is again from another anonymous subject. She said, well, I'll read what she said. She said, first thing, I'm a huge supporter of you. Love your videos, story times, tips, watching you take chances in life. I'm always rooting for you. I would love to meet you one day if we are ever in the same city. I feel like we would be good friends, and I agree. This story time is one I wanted to share because I feel like so many women and girls have this fantasy of Korean men, and they put them on such a high pedestal when really they are just like other men. So I just thought sharing this would just give them a more realistic view. Many men are good, but a lot are also not great, and I don't want people visiting Korea with the preconceived notion of a K-drama man and end up getting hurt. Anyways, let me get into the story time. Can y'all hear that plane? So yes, we have another anonymous submission. And again, I don't mind you guys wanting to be anonymous. We respect privacy and all that good stuff because this story has some twists and I can't say that I'm all that surprised, but kinda. Like, you want to believe, you know, the best in people and believe that people have good intentions and the best of intentions. When I was reading this story, my jaw dropped and it just kept dropping. I was just like, oh my god, there's more. Let's get into it. Let's call her Moana just to stick with the Disney theme from last week. So setting the scene, in 2019, Moana finally got to go to Korea. She was going to be studying there and she was really excited to go, all packed up. Finally, you know, after watching all the K-pop and K-dramas and all that stuff, excited to go to this country and excited to date some of the locals. I think we all went through that phase or are curious about that phase. She said she spent a lot of time like watching YouTube videos and vlogs and stuff, and I just got her more hyped up about going, and so relatable because that's exactly the same boat I was in. Watching other YouTubers, other foreign YouTubers there, I was like, I want to go. Like, they sold it for me. So she got all registered in a Korean language school, and she was able to meet so many friends like from around the world. And that is one thing. The other video I'm going to film today, a lot of people always talk about how they're nervous about going to Korea by themselves, or they want to go but they don't have anyone to go with. Korea is one of the countries I would absolutely encourage solo travel, and especially with the other video I'm going to talk about, it's starting to get a lot easier for solo travel these days. But yeah, honestly, all of my friends that I have now, literally all of them, we met through Korea. Whether it was K-pop, K-dramas, or just living in Korea together, being in Korea together, hanging out in Korea together, all of my friends, we have some sort of Korean connection. All of my best friends especially. All of them. Bria, Aaron, Tanya, Marika, we all met because of Korea. And a lot of people get nervous about going by themselves, but I'm telling you, it's just like this foreigner thing. You just link up. It could be something as simple as having a plushie on your bag. They'd be like, oh my god, I love Tay Tay too, and you're besties. And even when you go by yourself, you're gonna make some friends. Like, do not worry about that. So yeah, Moana says she got to meet so many great people from around the world. And one in particular, we'll call him L. He was Korean, but he lived in Spain for a bit, and he also went to this school. He came back to Korea to do some modeling and to visit his family. So Moana and Elle became really good friends. They started to go out to lunch and hang out and all that good stuff. And she met someone through Elle, and we're gonna call him Min. Let's call him Min. It's vague, right? It was Moana, Elle, and she had a friend. Elle said, you know what, I'm gonna bring a friend too since we bringing friends. And we're gonna call this friend Min. So they're like, all right, cool, new friends, we'll meet up in Itaewon. And this I wanna quote because it made me literally, I laughed out loud. She said, now Miss Girl, when I tell you this man was fine, that's in all caps, he was so fine. I wanted to send you photos so you can have a mental image. So she did send me these pictures, and I'm not gonna show that on here obviously because I've never been one to out a guy or out any people we talk about, but I saw his videos and pictures. Well, she sent me a video of him modeling, and I was like, okay.
He was fine.
She said he was tall, had the street style that she liked, he had the glass skin, he had like a buzz cut, and she said one of her weaknesses was the fact that he had a Saturi accent. He was from Busan, and you know that deep namja moksori, that manly country twang, he had it because he's from Busan. And y'all know boys from Busan are trouble. So like, yeah, she thinks he's cute and everything. She's trying to play it low-key, not trying to be like obvious or, you know, overt and thirsty. So she's just like, I mean, whatever, he's fine, whatever. And I'm like that too. In person anyway, like if we meet and like for the purpose of dating, obviously that means you have some interest in me, then that's one thing. I can flirt with you or whatever. But if we're just in a group of friends, I don't know your backstory. I don't know if you married, if you got kids, if you clearly.
Damn!
Sorry. But I don't know if you got a girlfriend or what your situation is, who you're interested in, what your type is. So I'm never the type to just be like, hi, like you're cute, I like you. So I totally get where she's coming from on that. So she said they went bar hopping, they went dancing all night, and then they went back to Min's apartment to play some drinking games. And before she knew it, it was like 7 a.m. And girl, I've been there. Looking back now, I don't know how I functioned. Like, we would just be in the club, dark basement or whatever, and we'd come out and we're like, oh God, it's sun. Like, it's daylight out. And that's when I'm like, oh, this sleeping schedule for the next day is about to suck. I'm not gonna wake up till like 2 p.m. and yeah. Memories. So at the end of that night or day, 7 a.m., however you want to call it, Min asked for Moana's number. And because she's trying to play cool, she said no.
I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you? Learn something from this.
She said, I said no because I'm annoying, and then like a crying emoji. Oh God. So she's trying to play up this little cat and mouse game sort of thing. I mean, if a guy asked me for my number, I think at that point I'd be like, okay, sure, because he asked me. I'm not showing the interest. You know, I'm not pursuing, I'm just reciprocating. So she said the next day, more like 2 hours later, she was meeting up with Elle. They went to school. I'm like, how clubbing all night and then go to school in 2 hours? Y'all built different. So she met up with Elle, and Elle was like, yo, my friend Min is really interested in you. Like, he's feeling you, he likes you. You should communicate with him. So she's like, all right, fine. Like, he can have my cacao. We'll talk, we'll catch up and see what happens. So it only took a few hours before she got a message from Min on Cacao. And he asked if he could take her out on a date, take her out for dinner, if they could do something later that day. So they met up and went out for dinner at Namsan Tower. I hope it's not too windy. Can y'all hear me? Come on, Win, chill. He met her outside of her apartment. His English wasn't that good and her Korean wasn't that good, but they found it cute with their like miscommunications and like the subtle thing. You know, like sometimes you can say some things that are wrong, but it's still understandable. Like, oh, like I'll never forget that famous clip from Rush Hour 3, the bloopers, and Jackie Chan goes up with his gun and goes, cheese! And everybody's laughing. He's still in character like, what? They're like, it's freeze. He's like, I'll freeze.
Cheese! Cheese! What? Freeze. A freeze!
So things like that, you know what they're trying to say, but they say it wrong and it's cute, so they kind of found that cute about each other. So she said they had a great time. You know, he was funny, he was polite, he was a gentleman, he was a good person to hang out with, just really good company. And then he dropped her off. When she says he dropped her off, I think what she means is they were both in a taxi, the same taxi, and they would just go to her place first and then go to his. So like they shared the taxi because I don't think he drove. She said he dropped her off first and he said, you know, I had a really good time with you and I hope I can see you again soon. And he says, you know, I haven't met anyone like you and we get along so well and like I want to do this again. So she said fast forward a couple days, they stayed in touch through Cacao but couldn't really meet up because of her school schedule and his work schedule. She also said, and this is a really important thing to note for a potential twist later, he was going to Busan a lot to visit his family. So that was another thing that got in the way of their conflicting schedules and them being able to hang out. So he said when he gets back, like he wanted to take her out again and they can go and get some dinner together. So that's what they did. So they grabbed dinner and then they went to a whiskey bar, and she said now this is where shit got weird. She said they're on their way back home to her place. The taxi drops her off first. And this time he uses his Papago, that's like Google Translate for Koreans. It's used through Naver, I believe, and it's really popular. It's like the main translator over there. And he typing in something and you know she's just waiting like, what's he trying to say? I shit you not. He said, I want to come up to your house and sex. Sex is a verb now. She said the reason she was totally caught off guard by this is because he hadn't even tried to hold her hand at any point during their first date or their first time getting to know each other and hanging out, to suddenly just go from nothing to, yo, I want to sex. Caught her off guard. And again, she put this in here and I think it is worth noting, she said that she was a virgin, so she was not interested in just some random hookup with some random dude she did not know that well. So she's like, oh, you know, we've had a lot of miscommunications in our relationship so far, so you know, maybe this is just another one of those typos. So she said she gave him a look that said no. It's like, I'm trying to imagine this look. I've been trying to imagine this look for a while, like I don't know if it's a you got me fucked up look or if it's a fearful like I don't know what kind of look it was, but she said that her look said no and she got out of the taxi by herself. So then she said he kept texting her for about a week after that, but she ignored his messages because she knew what he wanted. He just wanted to sleep with her. So now the next weekend she gets invited to hang out with her friend Elle again. She hasn't talked to Min at all during this time. Oh, it's a cute dog. So then she said that, you know, she's dancing, having her fun, and then she feels hands over her eyes. And she said that she recognized the distinctive smell of his cologne and cigarettes, and she knew it was men. You know, casually, hey, hi, bye type of thing. And then she goes back to dancing and drinking with her friends, and then she sees that he's over there talking to every girl in sight, whispering in their ear, flirting with them, getting their numbers and cacaos and stuff. So she's like, I think I dodged a bullet, but it gets worse. She said they didn't see each other much after that night of clubbing, and they hadn't really talked much, but she ended up finding out something. When he would take his trips to Busan, yeah, he was seeing family, and you know, that family included his girlfriend of 2 years.
I am disgusted.
He's from Busan, has, you know, most of his family and friends in Busan, but he works in Seoul. So he got his girlfriend of 2 years there while he's going up to Seoul to model, flirt, and cheat. I kind of hate that people say men are dogs. Dogs are a lot more loyal than cheating people. Like, why? Like, you a dog? No, dogs are better. Look at that cutie over there. Look at him. You see him frolicking? I'm sorry, I'm random. All right, y'all, fast forward to the future. I'm now editing this video, see? Now while I was filming, I got a little update. I'm just gonna read to you what she emailed me. I asked Moana how she found out that like her boy Min had a girlfriend. So this is what she said. So I found out from L, he went to Busan with him for a boys trip, which turned out to be a I want you to meet my girlfriend trip. L had come back to Seoul after me and Min weren't really seeing each other anymore, and he told me like, trust me, it's better you don't see him anymore because I met his girlfriend in Busan. He said they've been together for 2 years, they've met each other's parents, basically saying it was a serious relationship. Serious on her end only, it seems, but yeah, that's how she found out. Back to the story time. She said that, you know, at a girl code, she was trying hard to find this girl's contact information to let her know like, hey, your man is out here cheating on you, but factual. But she did say, on the other hand, a lot of the times when people get this bad news, they don't believe the person telling them, especially when they're a stranger. But it's also like, but why would they lie? Like, if somebody was cheating on me, I would want to know. Of course I'd need proof, you know, I'm not gonna just take some random person's word. I would want to know the truth. I'd be grateful for somebody telling me like, yo, your man just tried this. So that's how it ended. She didn't say nothing to him about it. So this is another thing I wanted to quote from her. She said, that's pretty much the end of my story. I'm back in Canada now, and every now and then he still messages me saying, I miss you, when are you coming back to Korea? I wanted to share this so that other girls are aware that men are truly just men. We can't fetishize and idolize these Korean men because of what we see on TV or in music. If you're going to Korea and you're going to date, be aware, stay safe, take care of yourself and your heart first. Don't fall for the BS.
Well said.
Moana.
Yeah.
Protect your heart, don't fall for the BS. Protect your heart, don't fall for the BS. And I always love sharing these types of stories because don't get me wrong, there are good and bad guys everywhere. Like, the guy I'm talking to now is pretty good. That's for another time. The way, it's always such a shock. Like, even when I tell my family or my friends over here who's never been to Korea what it's like over there, they're like, for real? Especially when you're a foreigner, because they just see you as ass. And not all the time. Again, I know a few people who are engaged and married to their Korean counterparts, but it's not what you think. It's really not. And I feel like oftentimes it's all glamorized and everybody thinks it's all sunshine and rainbows over there when you date, and it's really not like that. So I always appreciate sharing these types of stories to be real. So I'm really glad for Moana for letting me tell this story. Thank you so much, girl. She put plenty of details in that email. She's like, I feel like I'm rambling, but I'm like, no, girl, all the details truly help. Thanks for watching. If you did, remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.